more than the 5,000. Anybody ever? You guys ever looked at HUDhomestore.com before? Anybody ever see this? Yeah, just you guys. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm looking for an AID registered broker.
Okay. Yeah.
Susan?
I'm not speaking for any agents, but you guys ever seen this before?
No.
Yes.
It's called a property condition report. Pretty cool, because look at what they've already done for you.
Yeah.
They've checked out some major systems. So I know, I'm skeptical to say, well, okay, yeah, but they didn't catch this or that. Yeah, but it's a lot better than nothing. And so in this one's case, everything's fine, which is, there's a lot of them like that.
How reliable are those reports?
We found some that are way off, some that are fine. I guess the point is it just gives us something. If we see roof will need to be replaced, it has less than 2 years useful life on it, we know, okay, well, that's a big thing. That's not going to be someone that lives there when they fix it up.
And is that on the HUD Homes?
This?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it tells you a lot there. Okay. Let me skip a slide. This will tell you who the agent is for it, right? They have an asset manager that manages it. There's Home Telos, there's Pemco and Afori. There's a few different ones. Just like other lenders use asset managers. Field service manager that goes out, checks it out. Is the heat pump been stolen and did a tornado pick it up, that kind of stuff. And then you can see the listing broker. So you can submit an offer directly to the listing broker, or they'll probably have an agent that they have handle it for them. Oh, and this is where you can go in and enter offers. Anybody enter HUD offers before? Any agents?
Yeah, I got probably 2 of them accepted. I haven't done them for years.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty easy process. You just log in there and just fill out the offer.
Yeah, once you get it accepted, then you got some quick timelines you kind of have to go by.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what they are, but I do remember their.
Yeah, you're right. So HUD will give you 3 responses, just like anybody else. Nothing, which is the most common, or they'll counter, or they'll accept. That's it. And then the earnest money deposit, if it's $50,000 or less, it's $500. If it's over $50,000, it's $1,000. And as an investor, you're not getting that back. So you kiss that goodbye during that due diligence period. Consider that the price you pay for having some more information and you having that property condition report and stuff. But if you don't close on it, you're not getting that money back.
How long does it take you to get the 3 responses, or get the responses?
Next day. Yeah. They just send it to the agent. Counter. They always word it, the minimum acceptable bid to HUD is this amount. It's BS. It's Barbara Streisand, because they'll counter back, and a lot of people say, well, they said minimum expected is 20% off the list price, and I'm bidding way up. But they just say that, and then they'll just accept it. A week later or something. We've got
So you just didn't counter, you just let it sit there then?
No, because we're submitting another offer the next day anyway.
Yeah, I think once you put another offer in, you have to put another one in if they don't.
And there's a box you can check that hold it as a backup offer. So they're just going to hold it and then take it if they want to down the road.
So are you having to send in an earnest money deposit every time you make one of these offers?
That's a good question. So again, you got to build a relationship with the agent, because an agent, they could say, look, for an offer, every offer I'm going to need a contract filled out, I'm going to need certified funds, I'm going to need proof of funds, I'm going to need earnest money certified funds, I'm going to need proof of funds, all stuff, right? Control then you develop a relationship and you understand what you're doing, and of course not. You only send it in when you get it accepted. Yeah.
Is there a minimum an agent's making, because 6% on $17,000?
That's a good question too. So Bill, the superstar agent, Jonathan, and he's just awesome. When we had our discussion on that very first HUD property, within a short time after talking to him, he said, I'm going to need $1,000 on the front end. And he's the one that found the buyer for me, because this is my first one. I didn't have a buyer. He found a buyer for me. I paid him $1,000 on the back too. So we made $2,000. And what did he do? He found me a buyer. I mean, that's really it. So you're right. They'll have a minimum sometimes of $1,250. And then other times they'll have little bonuses and tiers and stuff. But the bottom line is, if you're getting a really low offer accepted and they're getting 3%, they're not going to be very excited. So it's just like if you're talking to an agent on any other property, right? You say, how about I'll make sure you get at least $1,000 on the front end, or whatever that number is. You know, if other agents have done it as $2,000, or a percentage, or a profit share, or whatever. If they're the broker or they're independent, if they work for a broker, they probably aren't. They may not have that flexibility. They're going to get, yeah. So yeah, you're absolutely right. $210 or something. They're not gonna do that. Percentages. So this is what you're asking about, Annie, or somebody was, right? And I stole this from the guy that's doing a bunch of them, and this is what he does. There's a guy in North and South Carolina. He does probably 20, 25, 30 a month. Buys and sells, wholesales, and same kind of thing. He does this. So it makes sense, right? That mobile homes, condos down, maybe not as valuable, maybe a little harder to sell, wholesale. So we generally restrict it to 25%. Again, until we get a counter and we look at it closer and okay, we could go higher. Same with 2 bedrooms. And we just make it, at least, if it's at least 900 square feet, you could maybe put a divided bedroom or make a 3rd bedroom or something, so we figured that might work for the buyer. And then we just go up. Of course, HUD or any seller, they're not going to take as big of a discount on the higher the price goes. Right? I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? $100,000, we haven't gotten any that were 100,000 plus for 19%. Okay? But we have gotten properties for 19, 20% that were under 50,000, the cheap ones. You guys ever heard of a virtual assistant?
Yep,
Have you ever heard of that?
yep.
Okay. Anybody ever used a virtual assistant?
My mom has.
Your mom has?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. For what?
For sales, mostly, and like marketing for that, and sending people stuff.
For what kind of sales?
For sales.
Oh, for short sales. Oh, okay. So she uses the VA to do what exactly?
Basically to organize all the people that she took off of the database in the recorder's office.
Okay.
And put them up into a spreadsheet so that my mom could access it easily.
Oh, cool. Spreadsheet work.
Yeah.
VAs, virtual assistants. Again, I didn't come up with any of this. I learned this from other investors. There's a lot of good sites where you can find them. Odesk is the one that I use, but you use Odesk too? Yeah. And you can find people, Philippines, really popular there because they speak good English, hard workers generally speaking. So virtual assistants are a great way to do things like address envelopes. So like Mario, you were talking about envelopes and stuff. You could have people have VAs do all kinds of stuff. But we use the VAs to submit the bids to HUD. So you can be paying someone probably a reasonable range would be $2 to $5 an hour, and you can pay them to submit the bids. And by the way, $2 to $5 an hour is way more. That's probably double the wage there, the going rate, the average wage for people. So we have a really good VA there that submits the bids, because if you're going to submit that many bids, you just couldn't do it, along with everything else. So we use virtual assistants to do that. You can use VAs to post ads on Craigslist. You can use VAs to you can use them for pretty much anything. You could use them for finding cash buyers, for finding private lenders, pulling courthouse records, and finding cash buyers that way, right? People with clothes, or who the lender was on the property. You can use them for all kinds of stuff. I use them to design my logo. Kind of like Grace, what we were talking about, the crowdsourcing, right? Yeah. Who had a question? Somebody asked?
Yes.
Of course. That's right.
Actually, it's two. One was the very first slide, you had the trademark logo. Did you register that trademark and pay for that?
I paid somebody to design it. I don't think I registered or trademarked it.
The other thing is, presenting your offers, I know you're sending your virtual assistants to them. Do you know whether they send them in like a formal fashion with all the intricacies then laid out, or is it rather informal with you not saying, hey, I want to drive high at this price?
Oh, well, HUD is just on their website. So that's kind of why we've been doing this with HUD, because it's just on their website. They don't have to do any formal offer or anything. It's all just right on their website. It's just data entry. Probably takes 30 seconds to make it submit it.
And what about private money? Do you use private money to buy homes?
Yeah. I've used my own money to start, then which is another separate session. But then I just went. Someone said friends and family, right? Who said that? Or Ross was talking about. Yeah. Went to people. Hey, this is what I did in my first deal with my money. I can do more. I'll pay you this in points or whatever we work out. Then we needed more money, so we found a hard money lender in Mobile. Got hard money for that. Because you can use private money or hard money for these deals, right? Because you have 30 days, 45 days to close. You can, if you're in rehab, you can use it for the rehab. Yeah. Yeah.
Travis, how much are you, I noticed there's $30,000 home you bought for 7, you sold for 17.
Yeah.
What kind of profit are you looking to make on each one? How are you sort of making a decision about what to wholesale it for?
That's a good question. So, the guy that I learned from, he's about $12,000 a transaction. We're not that good yet. So I kind of go 10% of the list price, minimum of $5,000. So, if it's $50,000 property, we look to make $5,000, 60, $6,000, $77,000. But if it's 30, I don't want to make just $3,000. I want to try to make. I haven't always done that. There's been some that ended up being skinny, but there was one in particular that was not skinny at all in Tennessee. So you just never know. I mean, there was a property listed for $89,000 in Knoxville, Tennessee. It was listed for $89,000. We got offer accepted at $28,000, and we sold for $65,000 in 2 weeks. And we didn't do a thing to it. We got our repair estimates. We got our ARB appraisal. The buyer had at least 30% equity when they bought it from us after repairs. That was a good deal for them. 48 hours.